Look at the weather.
It's beautiful here.
Non-stop rain.
Oh, man, it is a blazer out there.
It's cold and it's shivery.
It is cold.
Really coming down here.
I really enjoy your weather reports.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, we're talking weather in a whole new way. From historical events to what's coming up, plus weather news, science, safety, fun facts, and more.
I like where this is going.
This is Weather Weekly. Weather Weekly with Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey.
It is episode 258, Weather Weekly, and the first podcast of the new year. Happy New Year to you. Hopefully you had some good celebrations. Welcome to 2026. I'm meteorologist Marcus Bailey, Wish TV meteorologist in Indianapolis, Indiana. Good to have you on board. Busy forecast here and podcast for you. Coming up after the break, we'll do the forecast, which is going to be pretty mild, and we may have the potential for some very rare thunderstorms and maybe some stronger thunderstorms for early January. And then at the end of the podcast, I know some of you would tune in for this one. We'll do a brief recap of 2025. We'll do the winter, December rather, because winter is only not even halfway done yet, technically. December, January, and February are winter months. But we'll do December, and then we'll finish up with the year as well, 2025 on the whole, on how we did. Okay, so stand by. Busy podcast coming your way, and that is all next. It is the week ahead for January 5th. Got to slow this down here. 2026. Make sure I didn't mess up the first one, right? That's all next here on Weather Weekly. All right, it is the week ahead for January 5th, 2026. Let's go ahead and dive in. This is a busy forecast here, and we'll go ahead and start off with the fact that this is going to be a very mild week ahead, okay? Now, obviously not going to stay that way, and we'll dive in deep in the extended after the break, the 8 to 14. But for January standards, some 50s in play, and I'll tell you what, I'm not going to rule out 60s later on this week. So some good stuff on the way. Really quiet weather, really to start off the week, and Monday is going to be the beginning of our gradual warm-up. Monday is going to be a quiet day. I'm going to go mostly sunny skies. The winds will increase a little bit, but not crazy high. Probably around 5 to 10, gusts up to 15. Mostly sunny early, and then I do think we'll get some clouds building in late. Highs will be in the upper 40s around the metro. Could have a few low 50s down in southern Indiana. Monday night, mostly cloudy, not as cold. Lows will be into the upper 30s. Tuesday, noticeably warmer. I think it's going to be a big jump. Tuesday, partly to mostly cloudy. Some gusty winds at times. Again, not exceptionally high, but it will be breezy. Highs will be in the mid-50s. Something to keep in mind, average high for early January should be around 36 or 37. So we're well below average, or well above average, rather, obviously. Wednesday, also very mild, very dry. So we'll go Tuesday night, lows into the mid-30s. Wednesday, partly cloudy, highs into the mid-50s, maybe upper 50s. And I think southern Indiana has a decent chance of touching 60 degrees Wednesday afternoon. So pretty good day there on Wednesday. All right. Now, late week is when things get a little hairy, okay? We're going to have some rain chances increasing. First off with a warm front that will slide through the region Thursday. Now, we do this podcast very early into the week, so a lot can change in terms of timing, but as we're seeing it now, Thursday evening and Thursday overnight is when we'll begin with some of the rain along the warm front, and then cold front dragging through on Friday will bring some scattered showers, and that's possibly where we could get some thunderstorms too. It's also going to bring in some gusty winds. So Thursday's highs, upper 50s, even with the rain coming in late. Very, very warm. Rain likely then overnight, Thursday night. Overnight lows will be in the mid-40s, and then showers and thunderstorms Friday with highs into the mid and upper 50s. Again, I do think it's going to get a bit gusty. I'm going to keep a chance of rain in for Saturday. A lot of that just depends on how quickly the system kind of gets moving. But likely, if this was to be delayed a little bit, Saturday morning would be your scattered rain chance, but it's a lower chance, I think, for Saturday. Friday is really going to be the main day for showers and thunderstorms. And there are some hints, some of the model projections that we look at that advertising that there could be the potential for some severe thunderstorms. And when you have dynamics enough for severe weather, it is a concern this time of year because you don't need as many of those dynamics to create some bad weather as you would typically in the warmer months, spring and summer, okay? So right now, it would appear to be maybe a gusty wind threat, but you can't rule out all modes of severe weather, okay? So make sure you're paying attention to the forecast. We will obviously be updating on social media all week long. So if you haven't followed along on my Facebook page especially, that's where I'm most active. I'm on all major platforms, but Facebook is where we interact a lot, and I'm going to put a lot of my information out there. Make sure you're following along. Just go to facebook.com and then search for Marcus Bailey Weather. That'll get you to my page, okay? Coming up, we'll talk a little bit more about the rain chances coming our way, how much we can expect. I think that's kind of the other side threat here. Might have the potential for some flooding issues. We'll also do the 8 to 14 day outlook. We'll do the recap of 2025, all that, and a whole lot more. You're listening to Weather Weekly. All right, let's dive into some stats here. So this will be a little bit longer on the back end than we usually are. But we won't waste your time here. So December stats, 69th coldest December on record. The warmest temperature we had, obviously. 67 degrees on the 28th. That's before we had all that severe weather. Coldest was 4 below on the 14th and 15th. That's a big spread, right? And then we ranked 59th driest December. So that still kind of puts us in the middle of the pack. It's not too significant. And then obviously the big one was the 13th snowiest December on record. We totaled officially in Indy for snowfall 11.8 for the month. That was one of the higher spots as well. I know just outside of Bloomington, 13.6 around the Ellettsville area was one of the higher spots. Muncie had 10.6 of snow. Brazil had 10.1. So we had some high numbers right on the Tipton and Hamilton County line on US 31, 15.6 inches of snowfall. And that was one of the higher spots. Franklin at 13.4. So there's a lot of areas that hit double digits. And again, our average snowfall for the month of December should be around 6.4. So in many cases, we doubled that. And that's what made that a big deal. For the year, okay? Here's a comprehensive look of the year in review. So 2025, the average temperature, 54.7. So that's factoring all the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Normal, all right? Now this is a 30-year average, 91 to 2020, 53.7. That actually puts us as plus 1 degree. Against the average, it ranks as the 20th warmest. Now this is Indianapolis specific, okay? Total precipitation, 36.70 inches. That is down 6.93 against the average. Tied for 43rd driest. And then snowfall, 31.6. That's actually plus 6.1, 26 snowiest. Now, why that's a little bit deceiving, the snowfall data is for January through December. Now, when we usually do winter seasons, obviously our winter it straddles the new year. So that's going to be a different rank than what we typically give you on this podcast, just to throw that out there. Okay. Highs in the 80s and 90s had 111 80-degree days or higher, 29 90 degrees. That puts us plus 10 and plus 9 respectively against the average. Lows of 32 or 0 or lower. 103 days of lows below 32. 6 days below 0. That is minus 3 against the average for 32-degree days and plus 3 against the average of 0 or lower. Okay? So yeah. Nothing real significant there. So those are the stats for the year 2025. Okay. Some records that were broken. Max temp in February of 68 degrees. That was on February 3rd. High minimum temperature on March 29th of 61. Maximum temperature of 81 was tied on April 2nd. Some snowfall records, November 10th, Daily snowfall of 1.3, November 29th, 1.7. Both of those are daily records. Minimum temperature of -4 on December 14th, and a low maximum temperature of 7 on December 14th, and then obviously a maximum temperature of 67. That was on December 28th. So there you go. That's kind of a brief synopsis of the 2025 in review. Some of the significant weather events for the year. The biggest winter storm that we had of the season, January 5th and 6th. We had 6 to 13 inches of snowfall to kind of start off the year. March 19th, we had severe storms, wind damage, large hail, and an EF tornado. March 15th, we had multiple tornadoes and widespread wind damage. April 2nd, multiple tornadoes and widespread wind damage. April 19th, we had severe storms and damaging winds. Let's see. Luckily, like the middle of the summer and everything, we didn't have too many significant events. We had our first, early season snow. November 9th and 10th was early season lake enhanced snowfall. November 29th, right after Thanksgiving, early winter storm brings up to 8 inches of snowfall. December 11th through the 15th, we had 2 more snow events, then record cold. And then December 28th, obviously, we had the Linton EF1 tornado. And then we actually ended up with a couple of other tornadoes that were confirmed across the state. We ended up with the second most tornadoes for a year in the state of Indiana. And that is now 3 consecutive years in a row that we've done that. And we just keep shoving that next year down the ranks. So if you look at it, number 1 is in the 70s. We had 62 or 63 this year. And then last year, we beat last year's, and then the year before that is the rank. So last 3 years have been extremely active for tornado activity. Okay? All right, so that's kind of just a look at what happened. Briefly, we're into January. I'm not going to do the stats since we're only a few days in. We haven't really done it much here. But just to mention that the average liquid precipitation for January, 3.12, average snowfall, 8.8. It is statistically the snowiest month of the year, okay? 8 to 14 day outlook. Still, now this would be the 11th through the 17th, calling for above average temperatures. But I do think once we start getting near the end of that time frame, okay, past the middle of the month, we likely will start to flip the script a little bit and go back to cold. Below average precipitation in that same time frame here. Again, 3 to 4 week outlook is calling for below average temperatures and above average precipitation. So likely going to see some more action coming our way for the end of the month. All right. Can't really get through January unscathed. Very, very seldom. Do we have Januaries where we're running mild and dry? And I don't think we're going to end that way this year as well. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's podcast. We hope to have you along if you're a newbie. Hopefully you like and subscribe. Put a review out there. Would greatly appreciate that, and hope to have you along every week for the forecast and little tidbits as well. Always happy for suggestions. Shoot me an email anytime, marcus.bailey@wishtv.com. You can also reach out on social media. Like I said, very active on my Facebook page, but also on X, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Search for Marcus Bailey on those platforms as well. You can get my forecast on the TV side Monday through Friday, Wish TV Daybreak from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. Hope to see you there. Locally on Channel 8 and always online at wishtv.com, and click the live stream button. You can also get our forecast 24 hours a day at wishtv.com/weather and our free Storm Track 8 weather app. While you're here, make sure to check out all our other great podcasts, all part of the All Indiana Podcast Network. Have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you soon, and God bless.
Discover more from Storm Track 8 Weather and Wish TV. Online at wishtv.com, and when you follow Wish TV on Facebook. Plus, be sure to check out more great podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.